doing here? What the hell is going on?
I was sent to get you for a reason.
I've never seen a case like this before. 23 identities live in Kevin's body.
Someone's coming for you.
Who's coming?
The beast.
DID, or dissociative identity disorder, is a fascinating psychological disorder. In fact, in my mind, it's the king of all of them. It's the most complicated, most tragic, and amazing disorder. One that borders on, is it real? Can more than one human being live in the same body? I mean, I believe 100% that it exists.
The idea of playing somebody who is split so much, whose amalgamated personality, like mine, has decided to, or not decided to, but by necessity, has fragmented and is no longer in control of the disparate parts of them that make up the whole. All those individual aspects of yourself now operate individually. It was fascinating.
Hey, pardon me, sir. I think you have the wrong car.
It's a character that I've had for 15 years, this character, Kevin Wendell Crumb. And it was, you know, this idea of these young women getting abducted, and the person that's holding them has DID, and they have to manipulate each character to try to get out. That was how it came to me. What interests me is both the ride and the humanity of it. And this disorder is obviously very shocking and provocative and all of those things, but it's also, for me, very, very moving. You feel a lot for James McAvoy's character.
To whom am I speaking with now?
It's Barry.
It doesn't seem like Barry. Barry is an extroverted leader.
Yes, I am.
I think I'm talking to Dennis. I'm encouraged we can finally meet. And I've guessed this because you've adjusted the chocolate dish twice since you came in here, and I understand you have OCD.
No, I see. Now I see. That's clever. That's clever. But I'm not Dennis.
It became abundantly clear to me that I had to figure out why every single character came into being and when they came into being and how long they had been being. And from there, I could identify their key characteristics and their key attributes, because apart from maybe Barry and Kevin, the original personality, most of the alters are pretty defined by one or two key characteristics. So for Patricia, it's unquestioning faith. And I think she came about through when Kevin was having problems with his faith, you know. I think Hedwig came about to take the place of Kevin when he was being tortured.
My name's Hedwig.
How old are you?
9.
Dennis was there to get him out of being tortured, but when Dennis didn't manage to do that, Hedwig took his place in that torturous environment. And so there was a kind of disconnected naivety that got him through that moment. But I think through what he's experienced, he's also ended up being as much as he's quite a naive, innocent young child, he's got quite a malevolent streak as well.
Someone's coming for you, and you're not gonna like it. You guys make noises in your sleep.
Tell us.
I'm not supposed to say. But he's done awful things to people, and he'll do awful things to you.
Each of these personalities, each of these entities are there for a reason. They're there for a reason. They're all there to protect the original person, and they're very needed. And so one is obsessively neat so that things won't get in trouble. One is the child who's there to create fun and life and bring joy to mischievousness and all of those things. One is a religious zealot because we have to bring meaning to things. And so each of them has a purpose.
And really the challenge was to do the work of 9 films in one and come up with 9 different characters in the time that I'd usually get to come up with just one character. But I was helped by the fact that I learned, I read that when you live with the idea, it's very helpful. It's a really useful tool to keep a diary, so that you can help make sense of just disparate personalities, all doing their own thing. You can try and marshal them and have some forward momentum and have each personality have a chat to each other and talk to each other and go like, look, can you not spend all the money on Lego? We've got to buy food as well, whatever it is.
You trying to trick me? I'll tell on you. Aren't you the clever one?
When I wrote this particular role, I knew it was going to be the most difficult character I'd ever written, by far. Who can play the physicality of a beast character, play the child, and play all of these things without it becoming farce, without it becoming kind of just a collection of affects? And you're going to think I'm like, kumbaya guy here, I see signs and everything, and all that stuff, and maybe I am a little bit. But I was at a party last year and James McAvoy walked by and I grabbed his arm. I'd never met him before. And he turned around and I was like, hey dude. And his head was, the hair was growing back from X-Men. And just everything went click when I saw him. I was like, my God, is this the guy? Could this guy play it? And could he look exactly like he looks right now? I gave him the script and he said yes, and he came to Philadelphia and I took a photo from Comic-Con and he was on the red carpet and we shaved his head to be exactly the same length as Comic-Con, and he did the part, like playing a woman, a child, all these things, but his hair, like a blank slate. His head was just kind of like, just a trim. It's not bald, but it's like, it allows you to be male, female, like all this, a very, very fascinating way to perform the part.
We're here! Help us! We're in here!
What is this? How many are there?
No. Don't go in there. Don't go in there.
Don't worry. I'll talk to him. He listens to me. He knows what you're here for. He's not allowed to touch you. He knows that. Hmm?
And action.
He is making the film that he envisaged in his head, and it was abundantly clear to me after a couple of days that we were going to make the exact film that I'd read on the page. And, it was a bit scary for me as well, because most films you're on, you're making stuff up as you go along a lot of the time, whereas now it was like that, we're making the film I wrote, and I got on board with that because he's got the technical ability to actually realise his vision in a way that few people have. And even when I was a bit unsure about whether that vision was right or not, you're just like, do you know what? You believe it so much. I want to go wherever you lead me. And I suppose that is the definition, maybe not the definition, but one of the key characteristics of a good leader is that they believe so much it makes everybody else believe even when they're unsure. And I loved giving myself over tonight and just going like, I'm not sure if this is going to be good, but what have I got to lose? I might learn a hell of a lot and I might have a lot of fun doing what you think is right. And I'm really glad I did, because he's a real maestro.
Hedrick, could you help us?
Okay. I have a window in my room.
Maybe you could show us.
Oh, that's here. Now it's closed. Now it's open. Did you think it was a real window? So you could leave?
I really believe in the philosophy of keeping the stories slightly incomplete. I just need, everything but this, and let the audience fill it in. And then it becomes a very significant experience for the audience, because it becomes part of their experience, because it was a dance we did together. They can't be passive. A lot of television has gotten incredibly articulate and specific, but in the old days, television was a passive experience. They weren't asking you to do anything. Husband and wife fighting, I hate you, and then they leave. You didn't really need to contribute, as opposed to husband and wife staring at each other. Which one is right, which one's wrong? You have to go, you have to invest. I think I'm with her, and that was not the art form, but that for me, film, that is the art form, forcing you to invest with me and finish the story with me.
Who are you?
There isn't really a twist in this, and people will always make a lot of M. Night Shyamalan's films having twists. But if there is a twist for me, it's in that it sets out the stall really early, saying this particular thing about people that live with DID. They are what they think they are. And the twist, if anything, is that it's true. That's just what we do. all the way to the end. Do you know what I mean? We follow through on that.